All right, this is the T's. It's going to be short and sweet. I don't have anywhere near as many T's as I did with S's, but let's jump in. We're starting with uh, James Taylor's Greatest Hits. This is one that I got from Half Price Books for $3.99. It's in great shape, considering. It's got Something in the Way She Moves, Carolina in My Mind, Fire and Rain, Sweet Baby James, Country Road, You've Got a Friend, Don't Let Me Be Lonely Tonight, Walking Man, How Sweet It Is, Mexico, Shower the People, and Steamroller. The song Sweet Baby James is especially important for us because when we first brought our son home, which our children, we adopted them. When we first brought our son home, for a little while we weren't allowed to share information about him publicly. And so we couldn't use his name. So we called him Sweet Baby J because his name is Jeremiah. We named him Jeremiah. And so that became a term of endearment for him, and we still think about that a lot. So this album came out originally in 1972. I think this is a 1976 pressing. It is a gatefold, but it's a single LP. It's black vinyl, and there's not a lot to the cover. You know, it's just pretty much white, pretty classic looking, but it's a really good one. The next few are ones that I think we got at a thrift store. So the cases, not in the best shape. Definitely something I'm looking forward to getting sleeves for to protect a little bit better. I love classical music, but my all-time favorite classical composer is Tchaikovsky. So this is Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake. Specifically, this is the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra, conducted by Vladimir Goldschmin. This album came out on RCA Victor. I cannot tell you the exact year, but I can tell you that this is definitely 70s. Could even be 60s pressing of this album. It's black vinyl, of course. If you haven't heard Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake, you really should. It's really beautiful. My next one, also Tchaikovsky. This is Tchaikovsky's Romeo and Juliet, Overture Fantasia, and Berlioz's Romeo and Juliet Part 2, Dramatic Symphony. So there's two different composers really at play here, both doing their own versions on Romeo and Juliet, and this is Arturo Toscanini conducting the NBC Symphony Orchestra, performing those songs. So some great stuff there. I taught Romeo and Juliet for a long time, so definitely something I enjoy sharing. Next one, also in real rough shape, The Temptations' Greatest Hits. Gotta love The Temptations. I think I got this at a yard sale, or I got it at a thrift store, but it plays very well. It's got big songs like Ain't Too Proud to Beg, My Girl, let's see here, the way you do the things you do. Those are some of the biggest hits on here. Interesting thing here is the liner notes for this album were written by Bill Cosby, obviously a long time ago. This is 1966 pressing, and literally, I mean, whoever had this before us has like taped all the edges, and it's still in rough shape, but it sounds great. Next one, if you love some ska, we've got the Toasters Two Tone Army, and this is a really beautiful pressing. So this I bought off of Jump Up Records. If you're not familiar with Jump Up Records, run by a really nice guy named Chuck Wren, who puts out some fantastic ska pressings, especially more of the classic and two-tone, but he's really starting to branch out with some of the newer artists as well. Really love him. In fact, Joystick is sort of like split between Bad Time Records and I think Stomp Records, which is also part of Jump Up Records. I could be wrong there, but I know that they're on two labels, and one of them is through Chuck. So this has Two Tone Army. It's got Secret Agent Man. It's got Don't Come Running. It's got Maxwell Smart. It's got Speak Your Mind. Great album here. Really enjoy it. Very classic ska album. And the last T is 21 Pilots' Blurry Face. This is one of those albums that honestly I don't think I was a huge 21 Pilots fan, but I was new to collecting vinyl, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is cool. It's a new album on vinyl, and the album's pretty cool. I should get this. And I don't regret it, but it is one of those that was more of like an impulse, kind of purchase. It's got this like sheet that goes in, which sort of changes the way that the cover looks. It's a double LP black vinyl, so there's really not much to show as far as that goes. It is gatefold, and yeah, that's the tease.